All right, I am Sarah Hall, and this is an example of a behavior support plan for Elizabeth Carlson. She was recommended for her screaming behavior, which included any verbal outburst that can be heard from at least 10 feet away and lasts for 3 seconds or more, and can contain words or unintelligible sounds. So that is the behavior we are looking to reduce. The behavior we are looking to increase is asking for help or assistance in a proper and appropriate way. Currently, she will ask for help 0 to 2 times per week. The goal set for her is 14 or more times per week. She currently engages in screaming behaviors up to 25 times per week, and the goal for that is 0 to 2 times per week. The function of the screaming behavior was determined to be attention. Therefore, when she's engaging the behavior, she is attempting to gain either negative or positive attention, and it can be physical or verbal. Any kind of interaction, and it can even include reprimands. It does not have to be a positive interaction. Any kind of attention can be reinforcing. A preference assessment was done, multiple stimulus without replacement, and it determined that her most preferred items were pretzels, Reese's, YouTube time, and hot cocoa. So the strategies that was reduced or recommended to increase the appropriate behavior uh, and reduce the inappropriate behavior was differential reinforcement of alternative behavior, because sometimes children engage in undesired behaviors in an attempt to gain attention, whether it be positive or negative, and therefore when you provide attention following these undesired behaviors, you are actually reinforcing them and maintaining them. So this procedure involves providing reinforcement for an alternative behavior while not providing reinforcement for the undesired behavior. Since her screaming was found to be maintained by attention, the alternative behavior will be the asking for help or assistance in an appropriate way. So again, you will refer to the preference hierarchy that was determined in the preference assessment to determine what kind of reinforcer you will use. And the purpose of this is to not only provide reinforcement if she engaged in the desired behavior, or is to only provide reinforcement when she engages in the desired behavior. When she engages in the screaming behavior, completely ignore it. Don't look at it. Don't talk to her. Nothing. Don't do any kind of negative or positive. Don't reprimand her. Don't ask her why or anything. Just completely ignore it. Walk away. Even if she is asking for help while screaming, still continue to ignore it. We will only reinforce the behavior if she's asking for help or attention in an appropriate fashion. So anytime that she does ask for help or assistance or attention in a calm and appropriate way, you will immediately praise her for doing so and then give her a reinforcer as described in the preference assessment and provide her with the help or assistance that she is requesting. Anytime that she does appropriately ask for the help or assistance, you will document that on a data collection sheet such as this, where you will just put a tick mark in the corresponding day and week. If she does not engage in the behavior that day, just put an X through the box and then you will add them up for the week over here. Anything like that will do. So again, it's just really important that you only reinforce the alternative behavior, the desired behavior, and do not provide any attention for the undesired behavior. So again, you will record how many times she engages in the appropriate behavior per week, and once she reaches the goal of 14 or more per week for 2 consecutive weeks, You will then initiate the fading procedure. Fading involves steadily removing the procedure until it can be removed completely. For this, it'll be increasing the quantity of times that she needs to engage in the desired behavior before gaining that reinforcer. Therefore, in the first week of fading, she will be required to appropriately ask for help 2 times consecutively without any screaming behaviors in between before gaining that reinforcer and praise. You will still provide her with the help that she's asking for as long as she's doing it appropriately, but only give her the reinforcement and the praise every 2 times. And again, you will continue to ignore the screaming behavior throughout the whole procedure. And the fading procedure will continue as long as she stays above that goal of 14 or more times that she's asked for help appropriately per week. And if she's maintained that goal, you will move into the second week of fading where she'll be required to engage in the behavior 3 times before gaining reinforcement, and so on until you get to 5 behaviors before gaining reinforcement. And if she still continues to stay at that goal of 14 or more per week, you will then withdraw the procedure completely. If at any point during the fading procedure she drops below that goal, say you're, in the week where you're providing reinforcement every 4 behaviors and she drops down below 14, you will then go back down to 3 and then start working your way back up. But once you get to 5 and she maintains that goal of 14 or more, appropriately asking for help in a week, the procedure will be considered successful and can be withdrawn. You will want to continue documenting the frequency of the behavior for a month following the procedure, just to make sure that it is continuing to work and to be effective. If at any point she drops below that goal, you will then want to either re-implement the procedure or consider another procedure. And the strategy that was recommended to reduce the screaming behavior was negative punishment. Negative punishment involves removing desired stimuli to decrease behavior. So sometimes children engage in undesired behaviors because in the past they have continued to gain what they are seeking because of it, or have been able to basically do what they want with no consequences. Therefore, sometimes it is necessary that they experience some type of loss when they engage in the problem behaviors in order to reduce the future occurrence of the behavior. Since Elizabeth's screaming behavior was determined to be maintained by attention, she will not, the removal of attention during and after the behavior will be the negative part of the punishment. And it should result in reduction of that screaming behavior. So every time she engages in the screaming behavior, do not provide her with any attention, positive or negative. Don't look at her, nothing, just completely ignore it, walk away, go to a different room if possible. And then as part of the procedure, you will also, once she's done with the screaming, you will want to withhold attention for another minute following completion of the behavior. So say she's screaming for, 4 minutes. You will want to, once she's done with the screaming, you will then withhold it for another minute following the completion of it. And then again, you will want to document how often she is engaging in the screaming behavior on a data sheet, such as the other one. Like this, you will again engage in that. Put a tick mark in the corresponding day and week, add up the total per the week, and then carry on throughout the procedure. So each time she screams, you will record it on there. And again, the goal that was set for her was 2 or less screaming behaviors per week for 2 consecutive weeks. Once she does that, they will then initiate fading procedure. For this procedure, fading will include increasing the amount of time that attention is withheld following the behavior. So in the first week of fading, you will withhold attention for 2 minutes following the completion of the screaming behavior. If she maintains that goal of 2 or less per week, you will move into the next week of fading, which includes withholding attention for 3 minutes following the behavior. And again, if she does go above that goal of 2 behaviors per week, you will have to go back to the previous week's schedule of withholding, and then start working your way back up. You will continue increasing the amount of time you withhold attention by 1 each week, as long as she continues to be below that goal, until you get to withholding attention for 5 minutes following completion of the behavior. If she still maintains that goal of 0 to 2 behaviors per week, the procedure will be considered successful and can be removed completely. Again, you will want to continue to record the behaviors for a month following the completion of the procedure. If at any time she drops below that goal of 0 or 2 behaviors per week, or goes above it, we'll either need to re-implement the program or consider something else. And again, just a general rule, you will not, anytime she engages in that screaming behavior, you will want to ignore it, not engage in it, and make sure you do provide her with help or assistance when she does ask for it appropriately. That's really important, whether you're using the procedure or not. And that's that. All right, thank you.